The naming ceremony. Vasudeva had another son by Rohini, whom he had also given in Nanda's care. And the time came when he wanted both boys to be named. So he summoned Garga Rishi, who was the guru of the Yadavas, and asked him to perform the ceremonies. Garga said, "It would indeed be a pleasure to do this for you. But have you thought of what would happen if Kamsa came to know that your guru had performed a ceremony of this kind in Nanda's house? Would he not then suspect the child to be yours and not Nanda's? No, it is too dangerous." But Vasudeva was not to be put off so easily. He said, "That is my responsibility, revered teacher. We shall perform the ceremony very quietly, and to be on the safe side, we shall hold it in the Goshala. Goshala is cowshed, where nobody will suspect that anything is going on." Vasudeva was anxious to have this purificatory rite performed as soon as possible because of the recent disasters which had threatened the child, and also because Garga was a rishi of great spiritual power. And so the day was fixed. The sage performed the ceremony and then named the children. The elder of the two shall be called Rama because of his charming and virtuous ways, and Bala because of his extraordinary strength. He shall also be called Samkarshana because he will unite the Yadavas together. This other boy assumes different colors in different ages. This time he has a dark complexion. Therefore he shall be called Krishna. Being the son of Vasudeva, he shall also be known as Vasudeva. He has many names, forms, and attributes. No one ever knows them fully. He will give you great joy and blessing. He shall save you from many mishaps as he has saved others in the past. Those who love him wholeheartedly shall never know danger or fear. He has all the qualities of Narayana. Know him to be the same. Having made these profound statements, Garga blessed the two boys and left Gokula. Balarama and Krishna were now growing up fast. Slowly they started crawling on their hands and knees, and before long they were toddling unsteadily from one place to another. They wandered anywhere their chubby little legs would take them. There was not a place in Gokula they had not crawled to. They loved to hear the sound of their own tinkling anklet bells, and this would take them further and further away from home. Then, as if frightened, they would turn towards home as soon as their little legs would take them, and rush into the open arms of their waiting mothers. As the days went by, the boys became more and more naughty, particularly Krishna, who was the more mischievous of the two. He would pull the tails of the calves and allow himself to be dragged all over the place. His mother would be full of anxiety, and a time came when she could not give her full attention to the house because she had to keep a constant watch over Krishna. Balarama, of course, gave his little brother a hand in everything he did. Krishna had a partiality for milk, butter, and curds. So all his efforts would be directed in procuring these goodies. In the afternoon, when the hot sun made everyone doze, he would tiptoe silently, stealthily into the kitchen, not only his own, but also that of the neighbors. He would signal to his cronies to come and aid him in his little acts of mischief. Together they would break the mud pots and salvage delicious fresh butter and creamy curds. Because of their inefficiency in eating, they would invariably get their hands and faces properly smeared with butter and cream. Whatever remained, they would give to the monkeys and the calves. Now when the gopis found out that the scamps had been at their pots of butter and cream, they would go to Yashoda and sorely complain to her about the pranks of her beloved son. Yashoda would catch him by the ear and drag him out to be punished. But Krishna would look at her with such a pathetic mixture of pure innocence and unconfessed guilt that she would not have the heart to punish him. he would hang his head in shame and look really sorry for what he had done. But the moment his mother had forgiven him, he would run off and get back to all his old forms of mischief, working out in his little brain devilish schemes to make them more varied and interesting. One day, Balarama and a few other little boys complained to Yashoda that Krishna had swallowed handfuls of mud. So she scolded him for it. But he only looked at her with his big black eyes and said, "Mother, I swallow mud? That's not true. You may examine my mouth if you think I'm lying." "Open it," she said. He opened wide his mouth, and lo, once again she saw in it the whole of creation. Yasoda was dazed. She bowed her head before the Lord and said, "If you are indeed the absolute Brahman, then my salutations to you. For it is by your Maya that I appear as Yashoda, and this child as my son." Then slowly her mind came back from this supreme revelation to her world in Gokula. She picked up the rascally little Krishna and kissed him tenderly with motherly love, for once again he was her own little boy.